All right, welcome. Today we're kicking off a guided quest into the world of network simulation, and we're going to be using NS3, which is an incredibly powerful tool for anyone who really wants to get under the hood and understand how networks tick. Best part, we're going to do it all right inside your browser.
So, let me just start with this question. Have you ever wanted to build your own little internet? Just to see what happens? Because trying to experiment with real physical networks, well, it's often super expensive. It's unbelievably complex. And trying to reproduce an experiment perfectly? Almost impossible. So, what's the workaround? The answer, my friends, is network simulation. It's this amazing alternative that lets us create a virtual sandbox, a place where we have total control over everything, the bandwidth, the delay, the traffic patterns, you name it. And one of the leading open-source tools for doing exactly this is NS3.
Okay, let's really dive into the core of this, because NS3 is built on a concept that is just fascinating. To really get how it works, you have to think of it as, well, basically a time machine.
Yeah, a time machine. This is powered by something called Discrete Event Simulation, or DES. Now, instead of time flowing smoothly like it does for us, the simulation literally jumps from one important moment, an event, to the next. And in between those jumps, absolutely nothing happens. Time stands still. At its heart, an NS3 simulation is just a global clock and a big to-do list of events that are scheduled for specific times.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the key takeaway. Imagine we're writing code and we schedule events in a weird order. First one at 5 seconds, then one at 1 second, and then another at 3 seconds. When the simulation actually runs, what do you think happens? It processes them in perfect chronological order. 1 second, then 3 seconds, then 5 seconds. The crucial point here is that the execution order has nothing to do with the order in your code. It depends only on the scheduled time.
And that perfectly illustrates the fundamental rules of the game. First, simulation time is totally virtual. It's got no connection to real-world time. Second, events are always pulled from a list that's sorted by time. The simulator just jumps from one event to the next. And finally, and this is the big one, everything that happens in the network, from a packet being sent to a timer going off, is just an event on this list. Once you get that, you've really understood the heart of NS3.
So, with that foundation, let's see how this all comes together to build our first network. This is our first major milestone, and we're going to use the hello world of NS3, a script called first.cc.
Here it is. This is the network we're about to build. It's as simple as it gets. Just two nodes, we'll call them N0 and N1. Node N0 is going to be our client, and N1 will be the server. And they're connected by a single point-to-point link that has its own data rate and delay.
So building this in NS3 follows a really logical workflow. First, you create the nodes. Those are your computers. Then you define the link between them and install network devices on them, kind of like virtual network cards. After that, you've got to install the protocol stack so they can speak the language of the internet, like IP. Then you give them IP addresses, you install the client and server software on them, and finally, you just tell the simulator, run. Pretty much every NS3 simulation follows these same basic steps.
Great. So you've just built your first network. But, that's just the starting line. The NS3 tutorials are designed to be a progressive journey, so it's really helpful to see the map of where you can go from here.
And this roadmap shows the path perfectly. We just did first.cc, that's our foundation. From there, you could move on to hybrid networks, where you're mixing different kinds of links. And then you can get into really complex stuff, like Wi-Fi and mobility. It's a structured path designed to build your skills one step at a time. And just to make it crystal clear, here are your next few steps on the quest. After you've mastered first.cc, second.cc is going to teach you how to combine different network types, say a local area network with a point-to-point link. Then, third.cc throws you into the world of wireless, letting you create these dynamic simulations where nodes can actually move around. So cool!
Now, running a simulation and seeing a bunch of text fly by on the screen, that's one thing. But what if you could actually watch your virtual network in action? Well, that's where visualization comes in. So, let me introduce you to NetAnim. This is the official visualizer for NS3, and it's a game changer. During a simulation, you can tell NS3 to generate this special XML trace file. NetAnim reads that file and turns it into a full-blown animation. You can see your nodes, you can watch the packets travel across the links, and you can observe how the network behaves over time.
It is an absolutely invaluable tool for debugging and just building your own intuition.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the how, and the what's next. Now it's time to put it all into practice. Your adventure, it begins right now.
And you want to know the best part? You don't need to install a single thing. The Afarian iPlayground gives you a complete NS3 environment ready to go right in your web browser. This just removes all the friction of setting things up and lets you jump straight into experimenting.
Once you're in that iPlayground terminal, these are the only 3 commands you really need to get started. You can use ls to see all the tutorial files. You can use nano first.cc to open up the script and maybe tweak some things. And when you're ready, you just type $ns3 first.cc to compile and run your very first simulation. It is literally that simple.
So there you have it. The concepts are there, the tools are ready, and the path forward is all laid out for you. You've officially built your first virtual network. The only question left is, what are you going to test first?